this might be a hard one for me to record and talk about just because I had such a strong emotional reaction to this chapter that I don't usually get from a lot of media. I it has really like impeded my like functioning for the past like 24 hours since I've read it. It's a masterpiece. Don't get me wrong, but it's the way things were depicted in this were a little like not what I expected in the terms of level of realness, and it really hit me in a way that I did not expect. I didn't take notes for this one. I'm not like real. This is going to be more off the cuff as like a real, raw, genuine reaction. So first of all, I just want to say, like, on a light note, before we get into the incredibly dark subject material here, on a light note, the cover story was like beautiful. I want that as a poster. It was great. Anyway, is this the end of the Yamato cover story? I don't know. Every time I say that, we're what 42 chapters into the Yamato cover story. So yeah. Anyway, I love it. I love Yamato. Don't get me wrong. But so let's get into the chapter proper. The way this whole hunt was depicted throughout the first half of the chapter, really, and the dialogue and the behaviors, everything, it really hit me hard in particular. And this is like completely coming from like a full place of genuineness. Um, I have I have three of my four grandparents were Holocaust survivors. Um, and also recently, I thank God did not experience the events of October 7th myself. But I was in Israel at the time, and I heard from people and saw like a video and had I had a lot of firsthand um contact with the like not firsthand, I guess the word is secondhand contact with that horrific event. That's a little less known, so I will say it was essentially Israel's 9/11, but it was a lot more direct and gruesome, and it was pretty much incredibly similar to the events we see depicted in this chapter, actually. Um, and particularly for me though, like just at having grandparents that were directly in the Holocaust and survived it. Um, I'm just scrolling through like it. Oda does not hold back in this chapter, and I think it is incredible that he doesn't. I think for at its base, One Piece is a children's manga, but I think it's also important for young people reading this to understand, like, especially nowadays, especially currently in the current climate, what fascism really is and what it leads to. And I know that's a huge part of One Piece as a series. Um, One Piece is probably one of the most anti-fascist stories ever written, but seeing it tangibly in this chapter, like with how the celestial dragons view these people and how they treat them and what exactly and how they massacre them for fun, and just the behavior here really hit a chord with me. It really made me connect with the stories I've heard from my grandparents, like and from what I've heard recently with October 7th. Like this was very similar. There's one, all of it is so unbelievably horrific. I like felt sick to my stomach reading it. And the fact that Oda didn't hold back like that is just incredible that he showed this. I think it's so important to show. And it also really hypes things up for Eldath, and specifically because we're seeing what the Gods Knights like, this is what they're doing. And now in modern day, the Straw Hats are going to go up against them directly. And I feel like that's very smart that he included this flag. Like, I was wondering why God Valley was put here, and Oda was incredibly intentional with it. So there's one panel in particular that stuck out to me. Dragon comes across it seems like he comes across just like a little like awning in the forest, and he just sees tons of dead bodies just strewn about. We don't know how long they've been sitting there. There's just pools of blood everywhere. No, we don't know how long they've been sitting there because the hunt goes on for weeks, right? And he throws up. God, it's hard for me to even record this. That panel there. One of the it's going to be slept on. One of the most powerful panels in the entire series. And then Dragon immediately, he sees, I love in stories when we see scenes that have already happened from another point of view. And so Dragon sees from another point of view. He sees the Ivankov encourage, and, you know, Ginny encouraging Kuma. And it's incredibly powerful because those would become his closest comrades, Kuma, Ginny, and Ivankov. They would become like the foundational members of his revolutionary army. So it's so powerful that this journey sort of started from him because he saw a celestial dragon coming up on them and was going to kill them, and he shot and he killed them. Wow, just what a shot. And then, you know, it gets a little more lighthearted when we have, like, you know, the different pirate crews like Rocks Pirates and Roger Pirates arriving. Yeah. So I'm trying to find a specific panel here. Sorry. I'm trying to find a panel because I thought that Dragon had explicitly said that his whole platoon had been killed, but I don't seem to see that. Could be something I'm misremembering. Yeah, because he said they'll kill my entire platoon. I don't really understand the order of operations there, because I also... that line happens before he kills the Celestial Dragon. Oh, I see. Sorry. If I thought I could help her by helping, you know, Shanks and Shamrock's mom. But if I defy the Celestial Dragon, they'll execute my entire platoon too. Okay, that's what he was saying. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah, so, something I wanted to point out here is, you know, we see the full spread of the Gods Knights at this time. Now, Killingham is not there, so maybe he wasn't a Gods Knight yet. We see, you know, that character that I said looked familiar. That last chapter, and I said, like, have we seen them before? Do we know who they are? The one with the weird hat. So I asked about that, but they're confirmed to be a God Knight. Where this chapter's calling them the Knights of God. I see the Holy Knights, the Gods Knights, the Knights of God. I guess it's a translationary thing, but yeah, I'm just looking at this spread, and there's a few members, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we haven't seen. Killingham is not here. Gunko is not in this spread, is she? No, Gunko is not in this spread. Interesting. I think that's intentional. I think that they're trying to separate her from the bunch. There's this monstrous figure there. We don't know. Is he a giant? Is that like what is he, a mink? Like what is he? Ancient giant of I wouldn't think he's an ancient giant if he's a celestial dragon, but I really don't know what he is. Maybe it's like a hybrid form that he has there. There's another can't really tell if it's a man or a woman with a cigar and the horns. So a couple like members with horns here, but then there's another figure that has the skull that oh my god, I can't remember the guy in the beginning of Elbaf. The guy that was pretending to be God. I can't remember his name for some reason. He's wearing it here, and that got me down the line of thinking like, what does that mean? What does that signify? I wonder if that Holy Knight specifically is one of the Holy Knights that came to deal with Harold, and the mask got left behind, and he found it and put it on as like his thing of God. Like that's how it ends. Like if it's the same exact like skull and horns. But I don't know. That is an interesting parallel there. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any more like specific points I wanted to touch upon. We didn't get the fruits revealed yet. But yeah, the paneling where you see all the Davy clan people are like presented on stage, and the paneling where you see all of them screaming at the people saying like sever their bloodline, exterminate them. And they're throwing knives at them, and you see young child Blackbeard's face, and just the sheer trauma, and you see what they're seeing, and it's just these monstrous caricatures of everyone screaming at him. Another incredible like top 10 paneling in the entire series. We got two for in this chapter. Hashtag Blackbeard did nothing wrong. So what use group chat. They all like after going through this, he can do whatever he wants. I don't know. These two panels do so much to like recontextualize Blackbeard and make you feel so much sympathy for him. Like just seeing these two panels, God. Needless to say, I've said it already. This chapter impacted me on a level that like I can't even really put into words. This video was very hard to record. I'm tearing up as I'm recording it. It shook me to my core. That's the words. It shook me to my core. It was very brave of Oda to do this, I think. It's something he didn't have to do. It's something that wouldn't have like people would still like consider this the best series ever if he didn't do this. But he did it. He didn't hold anything back. He showed everything in gruesome detail. And I think that profoundly bolsters his messaging. Yeah, this chapter fucking got me, and I think there's a lot of people, I haven't really heard discourse about it yet, but I think there's a lot of people that are going to have similar reactions here. I think this chapter fucked me up. Like, it's been over 24 hours since I've read it, and I've genuinely felt different. Ugh. Choking on my own saliva here. Maybe that's time to wrap it up. I've been talking for too long. God, when you get like your own saliva like caught in your fucking throat. Anyway, we'll wrap this up. But Jesus. Anyway, yeah, one of the best chapters of all time, just like last week, I would say, just because of these depictions. It's crazy how Oda manages to shift the tone from one of the most horrific things in the entire series to very fun when all of the the fire crews show up at the end. But yeah, this is really the nexus of the entire series, as I talked about last time. It's the Roger Pirates, Rocks Pirates, Holy Knights, foundational Friends of the Revolutionary Army, foundational like point for Blackbeard. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And Garp shows up. I hate that was the cliffhanger, though. You know, like Garp showing up. Anyway. Melante's got me on the fuck Garp train wreck. I used to like Garp as a character, but Melante's got me on the fuck Garp side of things. I don't know, she's won me over. I am very interested to see her thoughts on this chapter. I think she'll kind of have I would imagine she'll have a similar experience to me. I think we're on a lot of the same thought wavelengths when it comes to One Piece. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on this chapter. This was a rough one, not in terms of quality, in terms of subject material. It really, really hit me. And I'm very grateful to Oda that he's like not holding back and he's depicting like this is what happens in, you know, when fascism goes unchecked. This is where it leads. And Oda's the greatest writer of all time. Yeah. I say it every week, but it's just the case. So yeah, thank you for watching / listening. Hopefully I won't be like in near tears next time. Bye-bye.